Diddy forced me and other celebrities into physical contact. Jay-Z and Beyonce are also with Diddy. I apologize to everyone for my wrong actions.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties.
Catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. T.D. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
With a recap of what was day 3 in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Once again, the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, was on the stand, and her testimony was both graphic and disturbing.
Obtained by CNN appears to show the music mogul assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, at a hotel in 2016. In the video, Combs can be seen striking and kicking Ventura as she tried to leave. I have the video right in front of me.
Is that you and I can love Bishop T.D. Jakes and at the same time say what the hell we think or call out a wrong thing.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
This scandal is going to blow your mind, so hold on to your seats. The details of the accusations against Pastor T.D. Jakes are more juicy than ever. Consider this. The feds are salivating over Jake's revelations of secrets after decades of friendship with music mogul Diddy.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Jake has vanished after his mansion was raided due to shocking connections to Diddy's alleged crimes and accusations of abuse from his own parishioners. Here's the worst part, though. Now that he is aware of all Diddy's naughty details, the hip-hop king is trembling. What did the federal authorities find? How profound are these secrets? Stay tuned as we reveal a web of deceit, treachery, and scandal that has the potential to bring down one of the biggest names in the music business.
Hey, Bishop Jakes. How are you?
What's up, man?
Man, it's so good to see you.
It's better to see you. How you doing? Looks like you're out in the sun.
It's interesting to note that when we look back at the beginnings of Pastor T.D. Jakes and Sean Diddy Combs' collaboration, the entanglement between them is less shocking. It all began in July 2021, when the music mogul and the charismatic pastor collaborated to debut a special sermon series on Diddy's Revolt TV network. The goal of the show, Kingdom Culture with TDJDs, was to combine hip-hop and religion in a way that would appeal to both Diddy's cultural influence and Jake's religious fan base. At first, many praised this collaboration as a groundbreaking film that helped close the gap between spiritual guidance and popular culture. However, not everything was as perfect as it seemed on the surface, as is the case with many well-known partnerships. The relationship started to draw criticism, particularly after social media users pointed out oddities in Diddy's actions at a Jake's birthday party, leading to speculation of more sinister, deeper ties between the two.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties. I hope it was for...
As the story progresses, it is impossible to avoid wondering, was this collaboration the beginning of a chain of events that would ultimately ensnare both men in a maelstrom of scandals? Both Diddy and Jakes began to face allegations of inappropriate behavior and abuse. When a now famous TikTok video surfaced implying that Jakes was more than just a preacher with a TV show, the accusations grew more serious. The startling term power bottom, which was first used in this video, threw Jakes into a whole new scandal by implying that he had engaged in improper and illegal behavior at Diddy's infamous parties. These disclosures weren't merely unfounded gossip. They were supported by alleged evidence, such as testimonies and videos, that linked Jake to actions that were in sharp contrast to his public persona. Videotapes, a USB drive, and even a burner phone connected to Diddy's late ex-partner Kim Porter have been turned over by Ventura, according to an insider. These items' contents are said to reveal a network of well-known people involved in actions that have the potential to topple entire empires.
T.D. Jakes have slept with multiple men at Diddy's parties and abroad, and they refer to him as being a power bottom.
Devices and documents purportedly containing proof of Jake's involvement in human trafficking and exploitation were found during a raid on his mansion. This raises the question of how a well-respected member of society ended up caught in this kind of web. I see him as a saint attending a party that is nothing but immoral. The scandal appears to have its origins in Jake's long-standing relationship with Diddy.
I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin.
Which many people now regard with suspicion. Although their cooperation on Kingdom culture was meant to inspire and encourage, it could have been a front for darker activities. Inmates who once held Jake in high regard are now shocked and wonder how well they knew the man who gave them Sunday sermons. In a startling turn of events, some sources claim that Jake actively participated in Diddy's notorious parties.
So now what he's doing is he's making the Christians look real bad right about now.
Rather than just being a spectator. One young man has come forward and is currently looking for legal representation, claiming that Jake took advantage of him at one of these parties when he was still a minor. Others have come forward to share their own terrifying experiences, and this has led to a deluge of accusations.
I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties.
Is it possible that Jake's public denunciation of homosexuality was a front for his own problems and secrets? Since his son, Jermaine Jakes, was arrested for soliciting homosexual encounters, the African-American LGBTQ community has been ablaze with rumors regarding Jake's sexual orientation. With the most recent accusations depicting a man who is tormented by his identity while preaching against it.
'Cause he's dancing at Diddy party. But you have to understand that maybe his house ain't right.
Their reputations have suffered greatly as a result, with Diddy dealing with his own legal issues and Jake's going missing from the public eye. It's interesting to note that the federal grand jury looking into Sean Diddy Combs is about to hear testimony that could end the hip-hop legend's life. The Justice Department appears determined to learn every detail of the alleged misconduct, as accusers are waiting in line. Diddy's abrupt absence merely feeds the flames. According to rumors, he may have escaped to Antigua, where his private jet was spotted soon after his houses were raided. But why the hasty retreat? You now have the Diddy scenario, in which he reportedly boarded a private jet yesterday and is currently en route to the Cape Verde Islands. In a startling turn of events, people familiar with the investigation say that Pastor T.D. Jakes may hold the secret to revealing this complex web. According to reports, the feds are using Jake's expertise to tighten Diddy's noose. Jakes knows where the bodies are buried, figuratively and literally, according to one source. This raises the question of how far down this rabbit hole goes. Saving his own skin isn't the only reason Jake cooperates with federal authorities. It's about exposing the vile side of celebrity culture that many people have long suspected but have never been able to verify. The pastor's in-depth reports of wild parties, illegal drug use, and exploitation might be just what the feds need. According to rumors, Jakes has given first-hand accounts and video evidence linking Diddy to a number of unlawful acts.
It's just crazy. Just read.
Is it possible that Jakes has been watching Diddy the entire time, waiting for the ideal opportunity to attack? It's simply insane. Read. It's becoming more and more obvious as the narrative progresses that Diddy's empire is about to implode. Numerous damning pieces of evidence, including secret recordings and testimonies of substance-induced assaults, have already been made public by the federal investigation. As the evidence grows, Diddy's attempt to brush the accusations aside as a witch hunt fails. The feds are building a bulletproof case, and Diddy's past is catching up with him faster than he can run, one insider said chillingly. This brings us to the role of the jury in this developing drama. Diddy's fate is now in the hands of regular people who are supposed to examine the evidence. The music mogul finds the prospect intimidating, particularly as more witnesses are asked to testify. People who have experienced the atrocities of Diddy's alleged behavior will testify before the jury. providing a somber portrait of a man who was once adored by millions. Nobody anticipated how many people were willing to come forward, and each story added a new level of complexity to an already complicated case. It's interesting to note that Diddy isn't the only person receiving attention. In order to find associates and enablers who may have contributed to his alleged crimes, the investigation is sweeping the globe. Rumor has it that a number of well-known people, including former executives of Bad Boy Records, may be involved. This extensive investigation may uncover a network of corruption and exploitation by revealing ties that extend well beyond Diddy. The security footage that was taken during the raids is among the most damning pieces of evidence. These videos are said to depict graphic acts of exploitation and abuse, some of which involve minors. According to reports, the videos show Diddy and other well-known visitors participating in unlawful activities. The seriousness of Diddy's predicament becomes more evident as federal agents continue to examine the tapes. Is it possible that Diddy's own conceit, believing he was untouchable, caused him to fail? The walls are closing in on Diddy as the feds continue their investigation. Some insiders are allegedly willing to testify against him in exchange for leniency, causing his once loyal entourage to start to fall apart. This internal betrayal only heightens the drama because Diddy now has to deal with the possibility that his inner circle will turn against him. Every man for himself now, and Diddy's learning the hard way who his true friends are, one source said, chillingly. The public is left to deal with the startling disclosures in the interim. Diddy's former admirers are now wondering how they could have been so oblivious. With social media ablaze with debates about the developing scandal, the court of public opinion has already rendered its decision. This raises the question of whether Diddy's career is permanently damaged or if he will ever be able to regain his position in the spotlight. The part played by Pastor T.D. Jake in the story is equally intriguing. His decline from grace is a warning about power and hypocrisy. He was once a highly regarded spiritual leader. The public's confidence in him continues to decline as more information about his double life comes to light. It's interesting to note that Jake's choice to work with the federal government may be his only, if remote, chance at redemption. His disclosures regarding Diddy and their mutual history of immorality may be the last straw that ends their careers. How this scandal will change the face of celebrity culture is still up in the air. As the feds set a precedent with this high-profile case, the days of unbridled power and influence may be coming to an end. Everyone is asking themselves, who will be next? Empires founded on deceit and exploitation are about to collapse as more victims muster the courage to speak out. The complex web between Pastor T.D. Jakes and Sean D. Combs is obviously coming apart in unexpected ways as we come to the end of this shocking revelation. How do you feel about the startling accusations made against Pastor T.D. Jakes? Could the extent of Diddy's alleged crimes really be revealed by his cooperation with the feds?
Day 3 of the Diddy trial. Cassie is still on the stand, and we are learning what a true and vile POS he is. We saw text messages that Cassie showed us from the night of the Intercontinental Hotel video, where you'd think he's saying sorry to her, I'm so sorry, I love you. Nope. He's saying, please call me, I have kids. Just yesterday, at the end of the day, when I guess Cassie disclosed that Diddy liked for her to rub the escort's semen, I don't know if I should say that, semen, on his nipples after they were all done. I mean, this guy's sick. I don't need to know all of this. I really don't need to know all of this. But, yeah, poor Cassie.
It takes a lot of courage to do the interview against Diddy, because I'm like, hey, if you out there putting your hands on people and forcing girls to abort babies and stuff, that I'm like, no, I'm sorry. We're not doing that. So,
During this testimony, this escort talked about being made to pee in Cassie's mouth. But this witness says that it was Cassie who asked him to do that. And that Puff was watching, and honestly, that was stricken. Like, the jurors, when he got into, like, cause he was speaking directly about Cassie and the fact that Cassie allegedly asked him to do it. And that's why he did it. And he was saying that at first he didn't know how to do it. Like, he was just like peeing like he normally pees. And that Cassie, along with Puff, was basically telling him, like, slow down, like, don't let it all come out at one point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're really peeing.
It seems that we have some new information that might help us understand why the Diddy story is much more bizarre than we first believed. And believe me, it's more sinister than anybody anticipated. People first thought Cassie's tale was already terrible, but her most recent testimony is shocking them. Diddy reportedly forced her to get rid of the pregnancy she had during those freak-offs. However, if this is accurate, it goes beyond simple abuse and involves trauma, control, and some very significant covert manipulation. How serious is this, and what does it indicate for the case as a whole? What more may be concealed? Let's examine what has transpired throughout the trial's last days. Cassie has been on the stand for a while now, and every day she reveals something really startling. The worst part is that, despite the fact that she is now busy, there are reports that she had a bun in the oven back then as well, but Diddy supposedly made her deal with it, as in bid that pregnancy crab farewell. If you understand, the prostitutes apparently finished on Cassie after those crazy freak-offs, and Diddy allegedly forced her to accept it and rub it on him. That's what the murmurs are saying, even though I know it sounds rude and crazy, but here's the shocking revelation. It is said that Cassie became pregnant during those insane sessions. And you know what? She claims Diddy made her throw it away. That would certainly explain why Diddy and Cassie never had children at that time. They are now expecting their third child, as if Cassie didn't begin having children until Alex Fine entered the picture. Now, this type of conduct isn't startling at all if you know Diddy's past. Jane Doe made the same accusation in one of the cases brought against him. That Diddy reportedly hired his ex-girlfriend Young Miami, who allegedly blackmailed the lady to ensure she got rid of the pregnancy, after he knocked her pregnant and forced her to stop it. However, because it included more than one lady, this is just the beginning. A number of women have come forward with accounts that are very similar to Virginia Fune, also known as Gina Hune. That's the same Gina who, while Diddy was still dating Cassie, would often appear next to him in impromptu club photos.
It's just because I really did love and care about him. Like, it was like unhealthy because I say it's unhealthy because it was like I didn't care about myself because I just care about him, and I would do like selfless things for him, and then I wouldn't get anything reciprocated, but then I would watch him like treat other women better than he treat me.
According to her, there was a trend rather than a single isolated incident. Gina Hume, Virginia V., didn't mince words. She said that throughout their relationship, Diddy had hurt her physically, emotionally, and intellectually. He once attempted to strike her with a high-heeled shoe, she said. Who even does it? Like, you guys? That is blatantly insane. Then, according to her, he struck her face so forcefully that her nose began to bleed.
Is there anything else you want to share to the viewers so that they can get to know you? Because I'm sure that you're going to be, this is not going to be the first time you're going to tell your story, because I think, in this industry, especially with Hollywood and this business of entertainment, there are just so many girls like you said, and they don't say anything because, one, they're scared, and there's other reasons. They want to get ahead. They think that they're not going to be able to make it. But for you are a walking testimony that there is life after this. And so now you have a manager who's helping to solidify deals for you to move up with your modeling career. And so
much the same perverted strategy Cassie detailed in her case. Same cycle, same control. Even worse, Virginia said that his companions would see the assault unfold as if it were any other Tuesday. She particularly mentioned King Lowe's, a rapper, claiming that he was seated there while Diddy carried out his nefarious activities.
It was just like a jealous rage.
Yeah, I was like, I was just saying happy birthday, nothing else. I think he thought I was trying to be sneaky behind his back because I like reached over when he like leaned forward to talk to somebody else. So he thought I was trying to be sneaky.
And you were how old at this time?
I was 22 probably.
Wow. Okay.
And then he did this. So King Los was sitting in the back.
Okay.
And then when we got to the hotel, it got even worse. And he took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and really hard and made my nose bleed.
She stated she informed him she was pregnant for the first time back in October 2014, and Diddy struck her with the right away.
He was like, "You're gonna get an abortion, right?" And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know yet.
According to reports, this guy attempted to buy her $50,000, 0 cents, to get rid of it. However, Virginia refused since she really loved him and wanted to retain the child. She just wanted him to treat her well. She had no desire to become wealthy. Let it sink in now. Upon closer inspection, it seems that this was not an isolated incident involving Cassie. You guys, this was a very weird pattern. A history of claimed forced abortions, coercion, control, and bodily damage. There are currently rumors that Gina Hune may be asked to testify as a witness, and Diddy is doomed if that occurs. We must now discuss these escorts, who may have even knocked Cassie unconscious. She didn't mince words and gave one of them the name Daniel Phillip. This is becoming serious since he has already testified. The chilly phase comes next. These escorts weren't only out for the excitement and pleasure, they were being compensated. According to sources, their pay ranged from $1,500 to $6,000 each session. Actual money is being exchanged. This wasn't just a random wild night, it was a planned business with schedules. Cassie claimed that she did it out of love, and to be honest, he was her first love. As a young girl, there was some manipulation involved. But wait, because things get darker. There was even an incident where an escort allegedly made a male and peed in her mouth.
Allegedly had made a male escort pee in her mouth. That is what they alleged in their opening statements. There was an escort that got on the stand as a witness. During this testimony, this escort talked about being made to pee in Cassie's mouth. But this witness says that it was Cassie who asked him to do that, and that Puff was watching, and honestly that was stricken. Like the jurors, when he got into, like, because he was speaking directly about Cassie and the fact that Cassie allegedly asked him to do it.
And the reason that the golden shower thing seems familiar is because not so long ago, young Miami had the internet in a chokehold as she spoke about how much she enjoys it.
Let's keep everybody nice and waxed and lasered and shaved or whatever your choice is. Let's get rid of the hair. It's too hot for the hair. We're not in the winter.
Ooh.
Okay.
You know why I picked this one?
Oh, Lord. What is it?
I can't say it.
You got to.
It says take a shower if you like golden showers. I do.
Golden showers? Meaning when the guy pees on you? Pee on you everywhere? You like it?
I just like it.
You do?
The phrase golden showers refers to a man who pees all over you. Do you like it? I just like it. Do you? People are now judging her critically because if Cassie was engaging in all of that behind closed doors under Diddy's influence, it begs the question, did Carisha also get that from being with Diddy? She was out there claiming that she likes to be peed on, and it was simply something charming to tweet about. Did he teach her to tolerate it, or was it something she ever desired? Fans asked all the appropriate questions, including this one in the comments section. Carisha ignored all the pertinent questions, including this one, when marketing all this golden shower paraphernalia to young females. Carisha was marketing all of this golden shower things to young girls without disclosing any behind-the-scenes information. Don't idolize these famous people. Let's face it, however, they do have a point. Cassie's testimony indicates that these freak-offs didn't even need Diddy's personal presence. She was essentially treated like an object since they sometimes had FaceTime interactions. No worries, no questions asked. But let me tell you, Cassie said that freak-offs were physically painful in addition to being humiliating and demeaning. She called them nothing short of soul-crushing. For example, she was unable to just return home and relax after those sessions. No, in order to feel human again, She had to numb herself with painkillers. She describes receiving massages, having IV fluids pumped into her, and having a chef prepare elaborate meals, as if she were at a healing resort. This was a rehabilitation day, not a spa day. These older videos now make a lot more sense. You know, the ones where Diddy is receiving IVs in a fancy suite with his mother? People said that it was just a cleanse or that the wealthy were exaggerating, but now? Those IVs seem to be a part of the recuperation procedure after all those crazy Diddy party nights. Let's face it, Diddy's mother would have been amenable to the madness as well.
Them kissing on the lips? Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, my mom's is gorgeous. Hold on, let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. Mom, freshly dipped though.
However, Cassie said that the harm was not limited to her mental or emotional well-being. Those sessions were so powerful that she began experiencing recurrent UTIs in her eye. Oh my God. She told us about a time when she went out with her friends, one of whom was gay, and then her best friend. She went home, fell asleep on the couch, and Diddy came in, screaming at her and acting violently with her.
Oh my gosh. She told us about an instance where she just went out with her friends, one of her gay friends, and then her best friend. She came back home, fell asleep on the couch. Diddy burst into her house, screaming at her, getting violent with her, and her friends jumped on his back to get him to stop. And at this point, he's wrestling with Cassie. He wrestles her off of him, throws her against her dresser or the end of her bed, and she has an eyebrow gash where she had to go to an emergency plastic surgeon because she was set to perform at Drake's music festival. I mean, we are seeing so much. Cassie told us that she was expected to perform freak-offs when she had UTIs, and she told us about all the UTIs she had, how painful they were.
Cassie also revealed that she was supposed to do freak-offs when she got them. The bit that really shattered folks, however, is this. She admitted to the court that she still had tongue sores.
Told us that she would try to be singing in the studio and she would have mouth sores. And then something that was so disturbing to me on top of everything else was she talked about a fight they had at the Cannes Film Festival where Diddy kicked her off of the boat that they were staying without shoes, without money, without her purse. So she walked over to the staff hotel. She didn't see him until later that night at the Cannes Film Festival. They show us a picture where she looks beautiful, but again, she's covering up bruises.
However, Diddy would always make threats if Cassie even considered leaving, so the manipulation and control didn't stop there. And we're talking about recordings, not simply threats. Everything was on tape for him. Every deed, every humiliation, every freak-off.
That night, he is squeezing her leg as hard as he can during this movie premiere. He's glaring at her and she's in pain. And they leave that night and she moves to another seat to not sit with him. He follows her, and on that flight, he shows her freak-off videos the entire time. Basically threatening her, and there are other people around, and she's terrified. And she says they land in New York, they go to dinner, and then she's expected to perform in a freak-off.
Do you recall that lawsuit from 2023? Yes, she brought a shocking lawsuit against Diddy, and you know what? With lightning speed, he resolved it in a few days. Why? Because that smoke was not what he wanted. He was afraid it would be made public, and now, well, the world is aware now. As one user put it, he paid her off to keep things from coming out. But it did. That's the truth, isn't it? This situation couldn't be contained indefinitely by the hush money, and the more information that leaked, the worse it became. Like a deep-seated humiliation. It should be noted that Diddy's children were present in the courtroom. Alex Fine, Cassie's husband, was there, along with his young kids. Diddy's children were forced to leave the courtroom in tears because it became too real. But for a nanosecond, let's be honest. Can you really blame them after hearing what Cassie testified about? At 53, one user even made the joke, "I feel like I'm too young to be knowing about these things." Again, however, some individuals think Diddy's girls need to be there for the whole ordeal. Diddy approached Cassie when she was around their age. He began doing things with Cassie when she was the same age as his current females, according to one user. His girls are old enough to understand what their father would be putting other young ladies through if he believed Cassie was mature enough to endure it. And to be honest, many are feeling just that way. It's simply some really unsettling material, as if there aren't any words at all. However, according to some of the most recent information, if you thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Did he reportedly force himself on Cassie as early as 2018? Yes, not too long ago. According to insiders, this occurred around the time she began dating Alex, and they were getting along well.
To check in on each other, one day they decided to go to dinner. She said for her, the dinner was closure. They went out, it was fun, they had a good time. He went back to her place, and during the time that he was at her place, she says that he raped her on the floor in her apartment. That's what she alleges, right? Mm-hmm. So then after that, she saw him again. Like, in a matter of weeks, she saw him again after that. She hung out with him, agreed to voluntarily...
She was still with Alex Fine during this time, allegedly, right?
She wasn't with him exclusively from the way she made it seem. They were dating, though.
Okay.
Her getting with him exclusively didn't happen until after. Finally stopped dealing with him. They were in a good space. They used to check in on each other. One day they decided to go to dinner. She said for her, the dinner was closure. They went out. It was fun. They had a good time. He went back to her place, and during the time that he was at her place, she says that he raped her on the floor in her apartment. That's what she alleges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Cassie afraid to testify, or do you think she has...
Excuse me, guys. Excuse me.
Got it?
Hey, man. You an ex-president, a bad boy, ain't you? A bad boy? Ain't you an ex-president, a bad boy?
Cassie had connected with Diddy with the belief that there wouldn't be any drama and that everything would be well. However, Diddy reportedly exploited her there on the floor. Eventually, I stopped interacting with him. They were in a favorable position. Check in on each other, they added. They made the decision to go out to supper one day. The dinner was closure for me, she remarked. They had a nice time when they went out. He returned to her home. She also claims that he raped her on the floor of her flat while he was there. Isn't that what she claims? Why Diddy's attorneys asked that Alex Fine be taken out of the courtroom as she spoke about that particular event. Diddy's attorneys asked that Alex Fine leave the courtroom. I didn't want him to hear that. Prosecutors, however, say they want to have Alex testify later on about that precise time. Because, let's face it, Cassie's experience was very awful. Did he not leave this case if these accusations are upheld in court? He's been gone for a very long time. Cassie, who is quite pregnant, is now testifying in the courtroom. However, she is just the first of many. According to rumors circulating around the streets, Diddy's witnesses are all set to testify against him. A diddler is what the internet is now referring to him as. And listen, given all that is coming to light, it is not even difficult to accept the claims that Diddy forced Cassie to terminate these many babies. All of it, the physical harm, the threats, the control, just records. Do you recall how Cassie repeatedly claimed to have UTIs? It is obvious that protection was not being utilized throughout these crazy sessions, which is a serious red flag. Not all of them were freak-offs. That was hazardous, careless, and raw. Not to be overlooked is Gina. He reportedly attempted to buy her a pregnancy termination for $50,000 0 cents. It's as if he valued his own child. And we're dealing with a guy like him. No guilt, no accountability. Therefore, it's not implausible to assume that Cassie was either conceived by him or one of their commercial sex workers on many occasions throughout that protracted, tortured connection. Given that we're discussing years of anarchy and access restriction, what are the chances? Not in Diddy's favor, for sure. However, the trial is proceeding, and who can predict what will be revealed next? For example, what else has been kept secret for so long? In all honesty, we must wonder whether Alex will be okay, and Cassie will even be okay after all of this Diddy drama. Now, however, I really need to hear what you guys think of this. For example, do you think Diddy forced Cassie to get rid of her several pregnancies during these freakouts? Do you believe that additional women have experienced the same thing but have yet to come forward? In all honesty, do you believe Diddy's whole company is going to permanently collapse if these accusations are true? To fall apart forever? Please leave a remark below.